Oh, geez. All right. Boo. All right. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks, Babaro. Thank you, Desi, for being here. Wow, man, jumping in quick today. This is awesome. Thank you for the birthday wishes, everybody. It's another year around the sun. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, I finally busted out that Gambit costume that I, up until then, just claimed to have. But I decided when I was going to do a live stream, I was like, I think this is the perfect time to talk about Deadpool Wolverine on my birthday. And I won't get into like spoilers for anybody that, hasn't seen it yet, which is probably most of at least my audience and my friends. I doubt have seen this movie yet. So I'll be talking in generalities, things like that. But it is the birthday stream. I was really excited to put on the Gambit costume for the thumbnail just to see if it fit. Well, that's the thing. When we get to Deadpool Wolverine, I mean, if you need, before we talk about it, I mean, it was, I went in cold because, everybody that knows me knows that I don't really do trailers, and I was staunch to not really watch anything for that. And I went in and I loved it. It was everything that I wanted it to be and more. But we'll get in, since I can't really talk spoilers, all I can say is like the things that weren't, it was just things that weren't that, in there, and that's all. Just more. I like there was just like more. They gave you so much that you just are like, okay. Like, why didn't we why don't we just make one of these like every 2 years? But that's, you saw it yesterday, Barbaro. Oh yeah, which character? Which character? I don't know which character you're talking about, man. I have no idea which character you're talking about. I'm wearing my Cyclops visor, so technically I'm Cyclops dressed as Gambit. Plus, Scott's decided to grow some, chin whiskers for a change. Look more like his pirate father, Corsair. Yeah, I actually had kind of forgotten that was a great possibility. So, but it's my birthday, like the stream says, and it's been a lot of insanity. I don't really do on camera very much. I do it when I'm with somebody else, and today I'm just trying to press myself into being back on camera. And if you wonder if you can't take me seriously with the visor, I'm sorry, because right now it's basically just an anxiety thing, but also because I just kind of I'm a little baked, so covering up the old bloodshot eyes with a giant bloodshot eye. So anyway, Barbaro, you loved it. Great. I'm gonna go see it again Sunday, and I'm probably gonna see it like 3 or 4 times. Adam Blunt, I loved the movie. Yeah, it was it was great. It was, but I do want to share a couple of birthday presents I got today from my friend Gino, who visits me on my birthday. One of my best buds, fellow content creator, but he's doing his own things now. But he and I always make time for each other. And I did not know that these Funko Pops existed for X-Men 97, but they are like the 8-bit versions of, dang it, is it not going to show up on here? Gonna put it in front of my face. There we go. No? There. Kind of. Spiral. Magic. I got a Spiral Funko Pop and a Mojo. Maybe I can trick it. Look at this. This one pops up. X-Men 97 Mojo, but they're like 8-bit. Let's see if I can cheat this one up too. Oh, let's see if I can do it over here. Oh, wow. You just do not like that. Yeah, the real Gino. Yeah, that's how I've a bunch of people I think found me, and I'm glad that I found him because he's one of my best buds. He's my bro, man. I don't say bro, right? When I say bro, I really kind of mean brother, not like bro. But we went and saw the movie, and we hung out for a little bit, talked life, catching up, all that jazz. Lots of things going on. I'm apologizing to you guys for not having content up lately. I've talked about it a little bit on my kind of wild live stream talking about the boys. If you can tell by my energy and my kind of vibes in when I'm talking about the boys and everything, it's just a lot of the world is really just been a lot to take this year. Things have just been, for everybody nuts, and I've been carrying a lot of this nonsense upstairs and it's been growing and growing. The uncertainty of our world and our country and our states and all that stuff, mixed with getting older, mixed with my job got bought out by another company, and now things are crazy there, and trying to get into a good, safe headspace and just general good feeling about certain things in general to change a lot of things so that I can spend more time working on content for everybody and getting back to more of a, I'm not going to say it's a new normal, but some kind of normalcy again, where the content will be going back to some content. We'll be continuing doing comics and games and everything else, but it'll probably be on a more regular schedule. Our era of constant apocalypses, absolutely. But all in all, I'm trying to still think positively about the way things can still go. I'm really excited to be going to a cool concert. I bought myself concert tickets for September 25th. I've already told like one of my friends about this on a stream, but I'm super excited because there's a band called Soul Coughing that broke up 25 years ago, and they had released like 3 studio albums, and I loved all of them. And Mike Dowdy, the lead singer, tours And after he won the rights to play his music again, he would play a lot of his music. But I went looking for one of his tours and found out that Soul Coughing is going to be doing a like from September to early October mini tour. And I bought myself 2 tickets for my birthday. That was my birthday gift to myself. Like, I am super stoked. If you guys don't know who Soul Coughing is, look them up. This is also the 30th anniversary of their first album called Ruby Vroom, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. What genre are they? I can't really put them in a genre, dude. They are unique. No one has ever really copied their style. Nobody really can. It's stand-up bass, drums, guitar, vocals, and a guy on like what he does is he's in charge of sounds. He's the keyboardist and sound mixer. They do a lot of crazy stuff. It's kind of like spoken word with awesome beats. If you don't know, the big song that you would know would be Super Bon Bon. I don't want to get this video flagged, so otherwise I would play some of their music. But Super Bon Bon has been played in tons of movies. You'd also probably hear Circles from their third album. But look them up. If they come to your city, give them a shot. Yeah, I guess 90s alternative rock would be, but it's like they're weird. They're like morphine. They're unique. And I love that it's one of those things where I want them to be popular. I want them to succeed so that they have, a reason to maybe make more music. But there's also that selfish side of us that loves keeping some of these special things just for ourselves, like in a small group of people. So I know that when I go to this show, it's going to be the people that really love this band. And it's not going to be a bunch of people that don't know the band. And while I want them to have a broader audience, and I hope there are new fans in that audience, there's still something to be said about feeling like they're playing just for you, the people that have been keeping the hope alive that they would get back together. I never hoped it at all. And the part that I'm leaving out is that I was in a real dark place the other day, and I was looking for any reason to feel better about anything. And I started playing their music because it was one of the, when push came to shove, it was one of the only kinds of music from back in the day that doesn't remind me of anything but good thoughts and good vibes. And once I started listening to their music, that's what led me down to looking up Mike Doughty, and that's how I suddenly found that these guys just happened to be going on a mini tour starting in September. I don't believe in anything. I believe in my own 2 eyes. I believe that sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time when you need to be there, and it was just one of those moments where it's like, hell yeah, I'm going to this concert. I needed something to pull me out, make me feel a little bit better. And there it was. And yeah. So Soul Coughing, look them up. And if they're going to the major cities, like one night in each major city. So check it out. But we might as well talk about like why most anybody's here probably. and why I really want to, this is just the birthday is more of an excuse to like do this, but it's also to let my freak flag fly, dress up like Gambit, wearing Cyclops visors. Deadpool Wolverine. Okay. As one of the minority of, the smallest group of people in the audience is still probably going to be the comic book readers. Like, so we sit there and we can appreciate this movie, I think, on a whole different level than anybody else. I'm not saying that people aren't getting like tons and tons and tons of joy, but if you don't know all the context, this movie is like, it's a playground for everything you've ever kind of wanted to see. And I didn't need much more than that. I didn't need a trailer to know that Deadpool Wolverine was going to be like the biggest movie for me this year. It just needed to, for me, all I was looking for was just Deadpool Wolverine being in insanity. Just I hack and slash, shoot them up, break each other's bones, laugh, make fun of each other, have just enough heart, have just enough of a plot, and just be eye candy for the people that have waited like first you got the whole time since the first X-Men movie, right? So you got year 2000, right? So it's been 24 years until we finally got to see Wolverine be like Hugh Jackman's age is Hugh Jackman's age, but in Logan, he was broke down old man Logan. Not quite old man Logan like in the Old Man Logan comic book, but old man Logan. This is a younger Logan, a more virile Logan. Hugh Jackman is still in the prime of his life, the shape of his life. And this is what we as comic book fans have been waiting for that 24 years. And then however far back you've been a comic book reader and Deadpool and Wolverine were both around. Well, really, since like 1974 for Wolverine fans. Let's and we'll even be less generous than that and say 1975 when Wolverine joined Claremont's, whole run. When he was written for that, maybe it starts there because I mean he didn't have that much to do in Incredible Hulk, and I don't know if the hype really was there for him in that book. I think hype came after he became an X-Man, and that popularity of that book just got bigger because of that. But for 50 years, comic book fans have been waiting for this. And for movie fans who've been just being told by your annoying comic book reading friends, all the ways that this could be different and that could be different. Why can't they let us see this and show that? And I'm sorry, but when somebody's claws are 9-inch weapons and they go into somebody's chest, it's going to, look a certain way and feel a certain way. And we never got to see all that stuff. And so for 50 years, some people have been waiting for this movie. Not this movie in particular, but the chance to see Wolverine be the Wolverine that we've known our whole lives. And for Deadpool fans, it's been over 30 years that we've been looking for, it's been about 30 years since Deadpool Wolverine met. But as far as Deadpool movies go, right, we all fell in love with that test footage that they made that ended up getting the first Deadpool movie made, right? A big part of that. And that first Deadpool movie was really special. It was, Ryan Reynolds was born to play this role, as some people would say. Nobody's born to do it. I like this phrase a little bit, but, he's the kind of guy who appreciates it. He's the right personality. Ryan Reynolds basically is Wade Wilson in real life. The way their personalities, at least their sense of humor, right? But it's still, even with Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2, after you see Deadpool 3, for me, for my money, this was the perfect Deadpool movie too. Because he was more balls to the walls insane in this. And I think a big part of that is due to how much it's just Deadpool and Wolverine on screen getting to just fuck around. And they don't have to worry so much about any other stuff, but their own things going on. So when this movie says Deadpool Wolverine, yeah, there's a bunch of people in this movie, but it is Deadpool Wolverine through the whole, like, it's once Wolverine's in the movie, it is like you're not going to be let down by, oh man, is he going to suddenly disappear, this, that, and the other. I like Deadpool 2 as well, Barbaro. I just think that after this one, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm trying to be a little vague by saying how much Wolverine's in this. And I guess it's not really a spoiler to say that the characters from the first two movies play a very limited role. And to me, that was a good thing, because this is Deadpool Wolverine, not Deadpool Wolverine and all these other side characters in Deadpool's life that get so much screen time in the first two Deadpool movies, which is fine. But it's also like, when you see a movie like Beetlejuice and most of the movie is Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. Do you know what I'm saying? This gives you what the title says and loses a lot of the stuff that's not necessary to tell this story. And with that, you just get so much more room for more insanity. I love it. It's just every kind of like moment you could possibly want. I also really like your comment here, Barbaro, that says, as a 90s kid, I would say Hugh Jackman is my Harrison Ford. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's he sings, he dances, he shish kebabs. The guy is multi-talented. I haven't loved everything he's been in, but he's very versatile and just charming as hell. You know what I'm saying? The trailer showed Cassandra Nova and teased a Wolverine versus Sabretooth fight if you want to know what's safe to talk about. Okay, well, Cassandra Nova was perfect in this movie. The casting was perfect. I think I might have misheard a part of her origin story. There was something that was said, and my buddies heard it one way and I heard it another. But it only changes like between comic book origin and whatever they decided to put in here. But it's basically the same thing, just reversed. If you know the origin of Cassandra Nova, think in utero and just think of how we both heard different versions of the same thing. And that's all I'll say. For comic book fans, that's a clue to you guys to that. But she was great. And she wasn't all over this movie. And neither were all these, like, the cameos in this movie were done right. I was worried that a lot of them were going to take over this movie to do this really, like, honor to the 20th Century Fox era. And I didn't, this is just me personally, though. All right, they have the right to do whatever they want, but me personally, I didn't need all that. So I was like, oh man, like, I don't really need them to roll out all the old X-Men and all the Fantastic Four and all this and that, all the characters on Daredevil and things. But what they did with it was fun. Some of it was subtle, some of it wasn't, and some of it you wanted more of. The Sabretooth fight, it's there. There's a lot of just great little moments, great little beats. Just, again, as a comic book fan, like, I wasn't needing a plot that makes me wonder what the future of the MCU is. I didn't care about any of that. I just wanted to go into the theater completely as blind as possible and enjoy them giving me eye candy for 2 hours and change. And that is exactly what they gave me. I don't need to think about what's next for Deadpool and what's next for Wolverine. This is Deadpool, Wolverine, and I'm focused on this movie in the here and now. And that's what was so much fun about going in blind, was that I was able to just the movie starts and I had a perma grin from ear to ear. I could feel it in my face from start to very last bit of the end credits. I will say that there's one at the very end credits is a thing to stick around for. And but it doesn't move the MCU needle. It's just fun. The mid-credits thing is not going to move the MCU needle at all. I will tell you that you should stick around no matter what for the end. So the mid-credits thing doesn't really matter. You're going to see it anyway if you stay till the end, and you should. But I won't spoil the mid-credits thing for you, because I didn't know what to... I was like, wait a second, why are they doing this? And then I thought about it. And I went, you know what? I lived through this time period that they're talking about here. And there were good times. And it was fun being alive in that time. And I was 25 when the first X-Men movie came out. And like around, when Daredevil came out and Blade came out. And in 98, I was 23. And I do think that while I'm glad the 20th Century Fox era of X-Men is over, there were some really great moments, including First Class, Days of Future Past. There were great moments of X stuff. X-Men Origin Wolverine might be terrible, but the Wolverine and Logan are great. I love those movies too. And so after all of this time, all the different X-Men movies, all the different times that we've seen Wolverine, this was that last final cherry on top that I could have asked for. I don't need Hugh to do any more for us. He did everything that we wanted him to. He's come back. He didn't have to do this. I mean, it's money in the bank, right? It's money in the bank. And maybe he'll do more, If he does, he does. But it was just great seeing him, like Bill the Butcher in Gangs of New York. Once more for the old souvenir. And that's what it felt like for Hugh Jackman. Just one last time until he's 90, right? Until he's 90. until you're 90, man. It was just great for Logan. The power of Logan is not diminished by this film. You shouldn't and if it bothers you so much, you got to question, why does it bother you so much? One of the things that my friend and I, Gino, were talking about, I try not to invoke his name too much, but one of the things we were talking about today was just how serious. I'm not going to say anybody in here does. I'm going to say in general that just take this stuff way too seriously. Hinge their whole lives on whether something is good or bad. Nothing can do, why can't things be just fine, mid, whatever? And if you don't like something, just move the hell on, man, because there's a million other things coming down the pipe faster than we can even keep up with these days. It's just not worth it. If you're not enjoying yourself, stop putting yourself through it. And stop putting the rest of us having to hear you complain about it. If you don't like something, do something about it yourself to change your, situation. because I'm sitting here watching this movie, and I know already there's probably tons of people that have just shit on this movie for whatever reason or another. And it's fine if you legitimately don't like this movie. It's even fine if you're like, you want to be like the staunch film critic and point out how, all the filmmaking mistakes or whatever that they think is in here. This movie's not about all that. This movie does not care about that. This movie is for the fans. This movie is for people to get excited about mutants getting in the MCU. This movie takes shots at everyone. Everyone. There were a couple of times where I went, ooh, to myself, like, dang, man. But not like taking it personally. Because Deadpool's the kind of character who does not pick favorites. He might stand for certain things, but like when he sees a joke, he goes for it. And when there's material to be used, he's going to throw it at whatever. Making a movie is always a gamble. How it throw things at the wall. Sometimes they stick until they do Secret Wars. Yeah, you never know. Sometimes you get gold and sometimes you get Morbius. Yeah. They had trailers before this movie. There were so many trailers, you guys. What the hell? I'm telling you, this is why. I don't. And I was kind of trapped in the theater this time. I couldn't just get away and not watch. So they started airing the Beetlejuice trailer, and I'm trying my best not to look. But all I can hear is Michael Keaton's voice, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm looking. And you know what? I'm gonna go see that movie. I just don't want to see all the stuff that's not going to be special once you see it already in the trailer. I like this whole going in cold when you know you're probably going to see it anyway. But I'm more excited now for Beetlejuice, but I'm not excited for the new Venom movie, which just looks like another Sony, man. Some Marvel, just figure it out. Figure it out, man. I don't know how much they make. Tell them they can still make video games about the characters, man. But leave the movies to the fucking Marvel. I mean, even if you don't like what Marvel's doing with all the movies and shows on Disney that Disney are making or for Disney Plus, you have to admit, you have to. Well, nobody has to do anything, right? But consider seriously, is Sony doing any better? I feel like they're doing much worse. And just because they make Spider-Man movies, like the animated movies, I don't know what it is about that. They got Lord and Miller and they're not messing with them, and those movies are great, the animated ones. But even everybody that loves so much like No Way Home, I mean, I like it too, but the reason that they're good is because Marvel's more heavily involved in those. The ones that they're not. So what is it going to take? What is it going to take? Because let's not act like Disney can't just buy them, all right, and let Sony keep the rights to making video games. You know what I'm saying? But Sony wants their thing, and so they're probably getting, their asking price for Spider-Man's, the Spider-Verse would probably be like $1 billion. No. How much did they pay for like Star Wars? $3 billion? Didn't they pay $3 billion for Star Wars? Let me know if I'm wrong about that. And I'm thinking, that's old money now. I'm like thinking if they had tried to sell Star Wars now, Star Wars would probably be going for even more money. And I don't mean because forget that there was never any Disney stuff. He'd probably make like $6 billion off of Star Wars if he waited longer. So I figured for Spider-Verse, it's probably $2 or $3 billion just for all the Spider stuff. But anyway, outside of that, I'm trying not to, again, spoilers for that for the Deadpool Wolverine movie, but I just wanted more. When they leave you wanting more, man, when you're just sitting there going, okay, I do feel like I saw a full movie. I did get to see tons of eye candy and all these fun moments, and it just leaves you wanting more. I mean, they've done their job. They've done their job. If you legitimately don't like this movie for one reason or another, that's fine. But if you're going to tell me that this movie wasn't a blast as a comic book fan, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I think everybody might just be, I don't know. I don't know what y'all need. You need a hug? I'll give you a hug. I'll give you a virtual hug. Look at that. There, little buddies. There. There'll be another thing to hate soon enough. Disney purchasing Fox was already reaching the limit of anti-monopoly laws. Good point. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. You know, the partnership needs to, maybe they need to get a heavier hand in the other part of that verse. I don't know. Somebody needs to step in and say, you guys need to get a Feige or a James Gunn for your Spider-Verse. Whoever's in charge of the Spider-Man stuff is not the right person for it. Get somebody in there that cares and loves about the material or comics in general. You know, get somebody who can handle a universe. Because whoever's doing it now, man, can't. But I don't want to turn this into an anti-Sony thing. That's just kind of where it went. Other trailers, just so many. That's the problem. I got tired of, like, I was like, man, I have to go to the bathroom like 30 minutes into the movie because it took an hour to get to that first 30 minutes. And I didn't get up to go for the entire time. So just get, why? Why do you need it wasn't even commercials. It was a half an hour of trailers. Plus Nicole Kidman, who I just don't want to see anymore. But at least it was the theater experience I thought was going to be with the crowd, but it was a good crowd. Everybody laughed, clapped, cried. And so that's all I'm going to really do here. I just wanted to pop on, do a little on camera, talk about Deadpool, Wolverine, be in costume, let my freak flag fly, and say hi to all my good people out there that still pay attention to the channel, and let you all know that as soon as I can let myself, there'll be more content on the channel coming up hopefully pretty soon. And hopefully I'll be working with a friend of mine on an Acolyte video, but that is not 100%. But once I know, I will let y'all know sooner rather than later. I'm going to finish this stream, and then I'm going to pop on my PS5 and do a game stream. But first I got to get out of this costume. So I will see y'all later. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Alien, Romulus, Joker 2, Mufasa, Wicked, Captain America. Kraven wasn't there, but all the other ones were. When will we see a spoiler stream? We'll probably talk about it on a game stream once I know more people have seen it. I'll be talking, Bill and I will be probably talking on a game stream one of these days. Borderlands, yeah, that was another one. But I want to make sure at least that a couple of people in my group, my Discord, have seen it before I start talking spoilers. Maybe in a week. I don't know. I'll have to talk to Bill and see if Bill's going to go see it. He's in the audience. Bill, are you going to see Deadpool, Wolverine, or are you going to stay inside? Because I don't know how, like, because I don't want anybody from the Discord popping in and being like, I didn't see it yet. But I'll be on a game stream here in a minute, and give me about 10 or 15 minutes. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye. Snick bubs. except I'm in Gambit